from San Francisco's fabulous Fillmore, One Night Stand, starring Paula Poundstone. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Paula Poundstone.
That was very nice. Now what if I bum? I think we're all going to look a little silly. How are you? Good. I'm fine, thanks. I've had some tension. Last night I went home, late at night after work, and I heard someone coming down the stairs in my apartment, and no one was supposed to be there. And so I had to run out and call the police. And then when they came, I said, well, it could have been the neighbors. And of course it was. I felt sort of silly. I mean, they were their stairs as well. Just for some reason, I felt possessive of them at that hour. I guess I was just cranky with the neighbors. The other night, I actually set the alarm off in my own apartment. This is a very embarrassing thing. I set the alarm off, and the cops came, and the security guard came, and they said that since it was a false alarm, I owed the cops $25 and the security people $30. So I said, well, then it wasn't a false alarm. I'm taking stuff. You caught me. I think it's a whole lot cheaper to go to jail, perhaps. I am so nervous about crime, though. One night I was in my apartment all by myself, and all the lights went out, and I freaked out. I go, there's a guy in the basement. He flipped a switch. He's coming up to kill me. That's all there is to it. Then I looked out the window and saw the whole neighborhood was out, and I was kind of relieved because I thought, maybe he'll start at the end of the block. I always like to think about, what could they do to your crimes anyways, what could they do to you if you just chose somebody for no good reason and followed them around singing a song from Sound of Music? You don't just ever other way. You just go, how do you solve a problem, Mike Maria? How do you catch a cloud and pin it out? When they go home at night, you don't go on their property or nothing like that. You just stand just off the edge. How do you solve a problem like Maria? What can they do to you? What, are they going to call the cops? And if they do, what are they going to say? Well, she keeps singing that song. And if a cop asked me, I would just say, no, I don't even know that song. And then the cop would be forced to sing it. No, you know, how do you solve a problem? So now, I'm really glad that they're doing this series of shows in San Francisco. Because most people don't really want to park. It's the only town I know where parking is simply illegal. I think the homeless thing is sad, but to me there's nothing sadder than the fact that there are plenty of families that have homes and simply can't pull over and get to them. It's so frustrating. I've gotten to a point where I don't even look for illegal space. I just pull up and park illegally right away. I consider it a $20 space. If you accept the ticket in your heart ahead of time, you're not that upset when you get back to the car. And I'm not a good driver, so if I circle and look for a space, I'll get a moving violation anyways. Figure this way here, I'm saving lives. I actually get pulled over for drunk driving, and I don't drink. No, I don't want to drink and drive, but at the same time, I wish that I had something to say to the cop. I feel like an idiot just going, no, sir, officer, just a lousy driver. Just couldn't really keep it in between them bumpy thingies on the road, I guess. The other day, actually, I parked in a street cleaning space because there was no other space. And so I left it there with a note on the windshield that said, no, leave it. I'll get this area. Because I love to vacuum.
If you're
I have little kid roommates here in San Francisco, actually. And last time I babysat, I'm not good with kids. Last time I babysat, I told them it was time for them to take a nap. Because it was time for them to take a nap. And they got all mad and started to cry. Can you remember when you didn't want to sleep? Isn't that inconceivable now? I was just like staring at them like they're not even from this planet. I mean, I guess that's a definition of adulthood right there, is that you want to sleep. If a 3-year-old came up to me and said, listen, I am beat. I have been at the Legos for an hour. The big wheel is jackknifed at the end of the driveway. I'll tell you what, I am just going to crash in the back room. I'd be like, but you are mature. These kids, they don't know me very well. There's 2 of them. And they don't know me very well because I'm only here every so often for a couple of days. So to them, I'm sort of a weird aunt, you know. The last time I visited them, we went out to dinner, and their parents had sort of stepped away in the lobby of the restaurant for something. And I don't know why I did this. Just to be a jerk, I guess. But I looked down at these 2 kids, and I go, you know, my head comes off. And they're 4 and 5 at the time, and they really didn't want to believe me. But they did. The youngest one's kind of a smart ass anyway, so he goes, oh, yeah, well, then take it off. I said, not here. I don't want to frighten the earthlings. The other kid decided he's going to use some child psychology on me, so he said, my head comes off, too. I said, well, mine is like an aspirin lid. You have to line up the arrows so that little kids can't take it off in the middle of the night when I'm asleep. I can't wait to babysit again. You know they're just going to be staring at my head the whole night. I don't have kids. I have cats. Actually, all 3 of my cats had to go to the vet last week because they had fleas. I felt really bad because I live in a 1-bedroom apartment and my cats don't go out. So if they got fleas, then it means they got them from me. Kind of felt like an ass making them wear the collars. Sorry, fellas, they don't come in my size. Actually, my small black cat, Baloo, was injured in an earthquake last summer. This is what happened during the earthquake. She ran into the fireplace. Because apparently that's what it says to do in the little kitty emergency manual. It's a horrible thing. She got a big rip up her side. I have to put her in the vet. She was in the shop for like 2 weeks. I get her out again, and the vet has put one of those Elizabethan collars on her head. Are you familiar with these? It looks like a funnel. It looks like she was yelling into a megaphone and became overzealous. A little cheerleader cat now. It was the saddest thing, because when I brought her home, you know, I only had one other cat at a time, and my other cat did not so much like the funnel-headed cat anymore. So they fought all the time. One day I heard some angry words exchanged. Funnel-head was shouted. And my healthy cat comes running out of the room. My other cat had poked her in the eyes. Now, if you're ever considering just going like that to your cat on a lark, don't do it. It was $350 for the first treatment. She got scratched corneas on both eyes. I had to bring her to the vet. She was in for a week in the shop. I get her out. The vet has put a funnel on her head. I had 2 funnel-headed cats. And they can't, you know, they put them on there so they can't lick the wound. She usually bathe all the time is because they are filthy animals. So now I have these hideous, wretched, disgusting, smelly things with kitchen implements on their heads, trying to sleep as close to me as they possibly can at night. And though they can't bathe, what they can do is lick the inside of that funnel really loudly. And all night long, all I can hear is... And God forbid they should purr. It's like, is there a tractor outside? Have any Helen Reddy fans here? Okay, now, I think that's weird. I'm the only Helen Reddy fan in the whole room? That scares me, because I don't believe her popularity has waned so much as I believe that many of her fans have been killed. That could be the case, you know, because they don't ask that when someone's killed. You know, the cops say, like, who are his enemies? Who did he owe money to? They never say, did he like Helen Reddy? So as far as we know, the Allen Reddy killer could still be at large. That's kind of scary, isn't it? You're all looking at me like you're not scared at all. I dare one of you to walk down the street right now whistling Ruby Redress. Healthcare is so expensive nowadays. I was working in Boston, I got laryngitis, and I had to go to a clinic. $57 I pay some woman to say, you shouldn't talk. I go, I have to talk, I have to work. And she said, you shouldn't work. I go, I have to work. And she actually said, would a note from me help? Well, of course, it's always good to hear from you, but no. Somebody told me when you're losing your memory like this, it is called short-term memory loss. I like to think of it as presidential eligibility. By the way, Bush is not my president. Not my president. That's my feeling. He's not my president, you know? I'm not doing anything he says. I'm not. If he wants me to do something, fine. He can call Dukakis and he can tell me. Remember Dukakis? Seems like ages ago, doesn't it? Damn it, what happened? I'm a little down about it. The other night I went home, stood up on my couch, tied the cord from my curtain around my neck, jumped off the couch, and the curtain's open. Very suicidal. I decided I want to do a remake of that movie, It's a Wonderful Life, where in the beginning I jump off the bridge and the angel rescues me and shows me what life would have been like without me. Only it turns out it really would have been a whole lot better. And the angel is forced to apologize. That's the part I kind of like. Just pacing off for no good reason right now. I'm telling you, my memory is completely gone. Yesterday, I ate half a bag of those molasses cookies from Pepperidge Farm before I remembered that those aren't the kind that I like. And I was forced to complete an entire bag of the distinctive Bordeaux. I do eat those by the bag as well, you know. You know, the way they package these things, you know they've tested this on, like, chimpanzees or something. Whenever I open those Pepperidge Farm cookies, I tell myself I will just eat one section. You know, and then I eat the section, and then there's that, like, cupcake wrapper paper in there, and then I'm like, okay, well, that's messy. Get that out of there. Fine, now there's another section in there. You guys got apples on your table? You went to a nightclub and brought apples? They gave them to you? Who eats apples in a nightclub? What happened to heroin? I hate to see this happening. Now you have a Mickey Mouse shirt on. Where did you get it at? Union Square in the city? So it's probably discounted. You know how cheap that area can be. Because, you know, if there's one thing San Francisco's not known for, it's ripping off tourists. I do get kind of lonely. I travel a lot, stay in hotels all the time. Don't get a lot of sleep because of that. I stay in the hotel, you know, I put the do not disturb sign up, and the maid knocks on the door. Now, maybe I don't speak the language, but to me, that's disturbing. I still put the sign up there, because, you know, I figure without that, she'll do something really disturbing. Like come in naked with firecrackers or something. Apparently I'm getting off easy with this knocking thing. Anybody ever stay in a hotel where they have it also in the different languages? So they have something on the sign that looks like no moleste? Yeah, well, I think that goes without saying. You mean if I don't put that sign up there, that's an option? I'm just going to want to check in at the desk. And yeah, just in general, no moleste. Well, you know, I've been so busy. I checked into a hotel the other day, and the girl behind the counter, she said, do you have a floor preference? like a floor. Apparently they can just suspend you from the ceiling now. No, I would like a floor. And she got all impatient. She goes, no, what level? I go, well, sorry, obviously I'm not that bright. How about beginner? I didn't know they could divide you up that way. Apparently that's so that in the event of a hotel fire, they can get the smart people out first. While the stupid people are still upstairs collecting the little soaps and trying to get them hangers off the rod. And boy, have you ever seen engineering and design like goes into the hangars in a hotel? I've never seen anything like it in my life. It's like scientists have labored for months and years on these things. Apparently that's where hotels were losing the big money there for a while, was in the hangar theft. Strikes me as a little odd. I stand in Denver in a hotel with a very slow elevator, which makes me cranky. You know, I don't even think it was mechanically operated. I think there was just a couple old guys underneath pushing. Because when it would go by the floors, you wouldn't hear like the click-click sound. You just hear, you got it? Yeah, I got it.
Watch Martin Short, Andrea Martin, Rick Moranis, Catherine O'Hare, and John Candy on the show that launched them all, SCTV.
Yeah, they got that vent in the ceiling. You know what that's for? That's so this building flips over and then floods. No, and that could happen because the other day my flight was on time when I found my luggage, so some weird has been happening. I swear. You know what I always think is weird is they don't lose your luggage. Your luggage is somewhere. You don't lose it. You know? I've got to a point where I just check my luggage to another city anyways. I can figure if it's not going with me, it may as well go to a nice place. You know, I just pack some light things and send it to Hawaii, maybe. The only thing that bothers me about the whole baggage thing is when you go into the baggage claim and a lot of people have lost bags and there's only one person working the baggage claim. That's a little absurd to me. Makes me tense. One time in Boston, I lost my bags. I waited an hour and there were a whole ton of people behind me and just one older woman working the baggage claim. And she said the greatest question I've ever heard. I said, well, I lost, it was one big suitcase. And she said, do you need it? Isn't that a wonderful baggage claim question? Like somebody, you know, if even one person fell for it, it was going to save her just that much work, you know? Like somebody might just become a Buddhist right there and renounce all material goods. Why, no, I don't need it. Material things are wrong. Could you shave my head now? That's probably how they get all those religious nutcases in the airport to begin with. Remember elementary school? I remember the first day like it was yesterday. You know? Because the stuff they said made no sense whatsoever. They said stuff like, if you want to talk, you have to raise your hand. I'd be talking to the guy next to me going, I think this is weird. And the teacher used to say stuff like, in elementary school, they said, like, you have to get the notes from a neighbor. I kept knocking on some old guy's house next door. I go, yeah, she said you'd have the map. I thought it was odd myself. I took a year of high school French. All I can do is ask how Monique is. Someday I'm going to go to France and I'm going to find Monique. I'm going to tell her we have an entire country full of high school kids over here worried to death about her. She could call. Actually, you know what? I went to Italy this summer, and I don't speak the language, and it was awful. It was so frightening. Have you ever been there? The driving was terrifying to me. I don't know. If there were lanes, there was certainly no lane usage. I should have loaned you my phrase book. I go, you know, most of the phrases I need to say were not going to be in that book. And how quickly could I look them up to use them anyways? Like, how quickly can you look up? I think we just hit someone. Should we go back? Now here I started to explain to you the design feature of this. This vent is in the ceiling. So this building flips over and then floods. That half the people here that believe that God will save us can stay here. And the rest of us can shove Shelley Winter's butt through there and go on ahead. All right, well, I guess it is kind of time for me to go. They're going to yell at me in a minute. Oh, a little late to suck up now. This woman is nodding her head along with me like, right. I like that, how you come to my defense. I like that very much. Would you protect me from the Helen Reddy killer? I'm so afraid of crime because they've legalized it now. Do you remember, and this was a while ago, but do you remember that 560-pound criminal who was released, his name was JoJo? He was released from jail because he had asthma, so jail was bad for him? Who made up this rule? I thought that was the whole idea, was that jail was at least supposed to be a little bit bad for you. Apparently not anymore. Apparently now it's like, sorry, got claustrophobia, can't go, wish I could, sorry. Electric chair, no way, even a heating pad gives me a rash. Then they let Hinckley go, and Sirhan, the guy who shot Robert Kennedy, he's up for parole like every year now or something. Not only that, he told the parole board that he thought if Kennedy were alive today, he would speak in his favor and say, let the guy go. What a tough break, huh? The one guy who would have supported this guy, and he shot him. Thank you very much. You guys have been great. Thank you.